Okay, guys. So here you are again, Arthur.
And Layssa.
We're going to be doing the class number 5, and that's going to be one of the most important steps that we have after the basic step, of course, that we
Yes.
call lateral.
It's
Lateral
really important.
is nothing more than the basic step in a lateral position, you can say. Yeah. So the lateral is the movement that we're going to say that is a linked movement that we use a lot of like the lateral to get into all pretty much the movements that we're going to be learning with the next class ahead. Okay, you guys ready?
Let's go.
Now we're going to have a big difference for as well for the footwork for the guys. So we're going to be using the basic step back and forth, the half of the viradinha, and then we're going to start the lateral. That means what? If you missed the previous class, you need to go back, learn again, and then it's going to become a lot easier.
Don't jump.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing first the footwork for the followers. It's exactly the same that we just did on the previous class for the viradinha. Okay. So it's not going to be a lot of change in there. It's going to be a big change now for the leaders. So I'm going to be starting showing the footwork, and then we put this all together. Okay. So when you start the basic step, so you're going to start with the basic step, left leg, 7, 8. We go backwards, back step like a normal basic step. We're going to start like a halfway of the viradinha. When I step back, but the difference now, I'm going to step and pivot. From that position now, I'm going to go transfer my weight, bring it together, and I go forward. I come back, I go sideways, go forward, and come back sideways. I go forward, then I come back sideways. It's very important to make sure when I stepping forward, I'm exactly the same as we were doing the basic step. So you want to keep center. I don't want to keep bouncing around. Okay, so you need to make sure the same idea when I step forward here is exactly the same if I'm doing the basic steps. If I'm doing the basic step and I do the transition, it's pretty much I need to maintain the same flow. So that's why it's important we think about the brush. The brush of the feet is nothing more is then you come back to your axis. So then you have a better balance where you can do the variations, where you can do the change. Yeah, be careful you don't do the movement and just keep the legs open like this. Don't be lazy, okay? So make sure you brush your bigger feet together, then you go sideways, forward, and together to go sideways. We don't stop, we don't tap. We just pass and brush pushing to the side, okay? So doing the full movement in motion, we start going backwards. When I go backwards again, we're going to start the lateral. I step, pivot, push, go forward, and go forward. Okay? We're going to be like Layssa, we're going to be doing a quick recap, yes, for the followers, and then we're going to put together.
Ladies, exactly what we did in the previous class is the viradinha footwork is exactly the lateral. Just the position of your arms. Now you're not going to have the embrace. You're going to keep the connection with his hands. Yeah, so it's the most important thing is just keep consistency. It's not like you keep doing too many things different, but this footwork, you need to maintain the technique all the way through, okay? So we are going to start here in this position. I'm going to project my front leg, my right leg. I transfer the weight. Always the second step. I make sure I pivot and then I ground. Always when you're going to brush, make sure you pass through your axis. So you work on your axis, you work on your balance. So I step and pivot and ground. When you're going to do this, you can keep your arms in that position. So you work more your legs and not too much of your upper body. Here, if you see, I keep the same level all the time. I step, pivot, and ground. When I ground, make sure your weight is center. And then here, I drive my leg before I transfer the weight. Yeah?
Okay. So we're going to start, like when you're going to start your practice, let's do just the part of the lateral. Yeah? That is when you're going to be offering the hand. So palm to the ceiling, we offer the hand. It's important you want to maintain like the cup. Yeah? Now, when you're dancing Zouk, the most important connection that we have is the elasticity. Yeah, so we want to create a lot of elasticity there. So what happened, we use a lot of the engagement of our forearm. Yes, so when you want to create more or less tension, it's all built through the hand, through the finger. When I can create more tension, creating more, I'm not squeezing, I'm just using kind of from the palm of my hand, doing like this, a queen, bye-bye.
Ladies, you have a little cup and you need to make sure you keep your wrist straight.
So from here, when you do the movement, keeping the cup, yeah? So you can have like a full hand like this, or just the 2 middle fingers inside. So it depends like the size of the hands, things like this, and then we're gonna go. Important thing, we always are maintaining our posture, our engagement. So when you talk about frame, the frame is not mainly on your arms because we are changing the position of our arms all the time.
Yeah.
Your frame is coming from your core, so that is your abs, your back, and your glutes that is working part of that. So your arms are supported by your back. You don't want to create too much tension on your elbows there because you want to create. On Zouk, we don't dance only in one angle. We are dancing in different planes. We are doing like tilted to the side, backwards, in many positions. So we cannot have a standard position of your arms. Of course, your arms are not flopping, but it's like we're letting gravity works. Yeah, so like we are not holding up, lifting here. You have still creating like you have like a little ball underneath your armpit where we keep like just holding. I'm not squeezing the ball. I'm just holding there, and then we can maintain that position.
Yeah, aim to have a little bit of your elbow, a little bit in front of your body, not in the line of your body. So it's easier for you when the guy is going to lead you, you're going to feel that lead, you're going to follow through the leg. Okay?
Yeah. Always a reaction. Remember, always the legs first. So when you have the position, we're always going to aim for both of us, create like an angle of 90, 95 degrees maximum there. And what happened, especially for the followers, when you feel that angle of the arm increasing, getting bigger, that means you should be moving forward. So that means your leg needs to drive. If you feel that angle getting smaller, that means you should moving backwards. So that's what we're going to create for you to a quick response on your legs. You don't keep pushing and pulling with your arms. You just, everything is a quick response through your legs.
So upper body and arms, we keep it neutral. We move the legs.
So from this position, arms are relaxed pretty much kind of line of the belly button, hips kind of. And in this position, ladies preparing like the follower is going to prepare the left leg, the guys the right. And my intention is first, we are swapping position. So I'm swapping where Layssa are, and then I'm doing my first, like the step going forwards and back. So like pretty much what we're doing is this. We swap, we go forward, and then I come back. We swap, we go forward, and I come back. So what I'm doing here, look, I have, when you're dancing Zouk, 3 lines. Yeah, so if I'm facing Layssa here, we're going to have 1 center line, 2, 3. So we have like all the parallel lines here. So right now I'm dancing in my line. So my first step, I keep my line, we swap, and then in the second one, I want to make sure I step on her line, and then we keep that dynamic all the time. Yeah, so here my intention with my hand, I'm not on Zouk, our hand never move towards our body. It's the body that moves towards our hand. What that means that when I'm here, I don't do this. I don't pull. My hand stay. What creates is the plie and the transfer of the weight. But my hand is always going to stay stationary in the same position when we're doing the lateral. Okay? So when you're doing the movement, make sure you try to do as solid and slow as possible so you guys can develop like your balance and muscle strengthening. Okay?
Now for the ladies, just when you're going to do this movement together, is the same idea of the viradinha. So we want to have a little bit of this connection with his chest. Yeah, we don't want to like ignore the guy when we're doing here. My legs is still going forward, but I have a little bit. It's like a small torque. So this is going to make easier again for your shoulders.
Yeah, so create a little rotation for the guys, exactly the same. When I step, when I go forward, I will try and maintain the rotation, but don't force, okay? Don't force too much. It's just a little bit when you're doing the lateral. So we start like a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1. Yeah, so now doing from the basic step and getting into the movement. So you want to use the same lead that you use for do the viradinha. The difference that we're going to now change on the footwork. So when I start the basic, and 1, 2 and separate, 4 and 5, 6 and. So if you see now my body position change, but the lead and the movement for the follow is still the same.
Ladies, wait in the middle.
From that position now, with my left hand, I need to change the grip. With my right hand, I still pushing. Yeah, like when I say push, it's just a slight like indication for her to keep doing the movement. I transfer my weight. I keep the connection with the arm, stepping forward, and then we come back into the lateral. Okay, so then we go into the lateral, sorry. Yeah, so from here, then we maintain. To go back, what we're gonna do when the guys will go open with your right leg, you're gonna step forward and you're gonna do the pivoting, facing the lead. That is exactly the same pivot that you used when we did the change of the direction with the basic step. If you don't remember, you need to go back there and do it again, okay? From that position, then you come back into the basic step, and that's it.
Ladies, for you, nothing changed. You're just gonna keep the flow of your footwork, okay?
Yeah, so before we do with music, I'm gonna do to the other side, and then you guys can have a look. So from here, we go
1,
basic,
2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, so let's try do with music. So the basic step.
Where's the line I used to know?
5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4.
Change the direction, go to the other side. And then we're gonna start. Viradinha. 1, 2
and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1.
So for you guys keep the dynamic, you can play with that. Do the first basic step, back and forth. Do the viradinha 1, 2 times, and then you get into the lateral. For example, you can start basic, and then we're gonna do slide, do the viradinha, and then you get into the lateral. From there, you come back, you can come back straight into the viradinha, and come back into the lateral. Yeah, but again, process, building. Get used to do the viradinha, make sure it's nice and clean. And then when you start in the lateral, it's exactly the same. Build the lateral first on your body and everything, make it clean, and then it's gonna be a lot easier. Yeah.
Yes, make sure keep it consistent and keep pushing the floor, not using a lot of your upper body.
She sometimes get afraid to stay close to me. So make sure guys, when you're gonna be doing the movements and everything for the lateral, like Layssa said, we have like we're gonna maintain the connection with our chest, but you need to be careful, don't over rotate. Okay, we have like a connection there, but our legs are still working together, and we still applying the same concepts that we have for the basic step. Brush off the feet, like when you press the feet together, so finding the axis. We maintain posture wise. The most important, like we want to remind you guys, is the position for the hands.
Yes.
So we don't lift too high. Yeah, keeping that engagement of your back, nice and relaxed. And we are swapping positions. So remember, we have 3 parallel lines where the guys are going to be using 2 of those. The center line is like the follower. So you use your line and the follower's line to do the movement.
It's very, very important for the ladies when they're doing the lateral. You step twice forwards and then you pivot in that second step. So then the movement is going to be on time and consistent with your dance partner. If you start pivoting before, you're going to create a disconnection with him, and you're going to start to be in front and pushing through the chest. So don't do this. Yeah?
Yeah.
2 steps forwards, pivot.
And make sure, do it like many times without the music. Keep consistent with the counting and everything. Then you do with the music. Preference, very slow songs, slow, the best. Yeah, so then you can build a better consistency there.
Yes.
Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this class, and I see you next time.